for the recording.
Yeah.
Okay. Der schmeckt das frische Blut, haben sich die verwilderte Jatke hint zerwoiert. Ungeberstelt die brüdige Haar von die flache Sterns und kriecherisch wie die Bettler genommen Poison zum vergossen Blut. So as they smelt the fresh blood, the savage butchers, hounds, dogs spread out, bristling the dirty fur on their flat brows bristled, and they went creeping like beggars, and they began to crawl towards the blood that had been spilt. Abrasha der Katzev hat zij aber übergetrieben. But Abrasha the butcher chased them away. Von Kretzike, and I think this must be Russian, probably get away, go away. Und die Hint haben mit herabgelosten Ecken geruckt sich auf zurück. And the dogs with lowered tails moved back from where they were standing. A span voraus, a span zurück. So a step back and a step forward. Die hintische Augen wie die Nadeln zu einem Magnet gewendet zum reuten, zergossenem Fleck. Their dog-like eyes, drawn like needles to a magnet, it drew them to the red spilled spot, which is the blood that's on the ground. Und die Puste Beichersäure schockelen sich von an eingehaltenem Weuen und Billen. And their empty stomachs quivered, moved. With repressed anguish and barking. Und am meuyem dik billen, wie a ruach in a koimen. This was a threatening barking, like a wind in a chimney. Also haben sie Arois begleit die Neshama von dem geschochtenen Zap. And this is how they escorted out the soul of the slaughtered goat. Mashmoas der Goseiser Zap hat field, als mit Aktiones wird schon gar nicht auftun, als ist der Sof. Nicht mehr was zu schämen sich, nicht was zu schämen sich. So very likely, the dying goat perceived that with stubbornness, he wouldn't be able to achieve anything, that this was really the end. There was no possible escape. Yeah, he couldn't take care to, there was nothing more that he could do. He was finished. And there was nothing to be ashamed about. Waarom hat Gebundenheit genommen, warfen sich und machen Kojelkes. And the reason why he had given up hope, it would seem, was that as he was bound up, he began to move himself around and almost do somersaults. Der größte Komödiant wird gekent mekane sein. The greatest jester would have been jealous, and he would have envied him. Nicht gejalvet das letzte bissel Keuches und die Seiten euch nicht. So he didn't try and preserve the last bit of energy, and his sides.
Yeah.
Also not.
Yeah, that's strange. I don't get that.
No. I'm not sure what he means by that.
Mm.
Okay. Yep.
Maybe his limits. Maybe his limits. His Seiten.
Perhaps his limits. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, that makes a little more sense. Yeah. Liab in zugangenem Schnee von Seit zu Seit. So he slept around in the melting snow from side to side. Koparop und Rücken aruf und verkehrt. So with his head up and his back down and the other way around. Der Ziegener Kohl ist schon mehr kein Kohl nicht gewesen, nur ein abgefrorener Grippen von jener Seite leben. His goat-like sound, his goat-like voice was no longer a voice at all, but rather a departing sob from the other side of life. Via toit kranke Chasen lahavdil, was proved sein Kli waren toit. So he was like a terminally ill Chasen lahavdil, to make a distinction, who was trying to exercise his voice before death. Mehr, es geht nicht. So I can't do it anymore. Mehim, es geht nicht. It's just impossible. I can't. Efscher ke, es geht euch nicht. So no sounds were possible for him to make anymore. Und Abrascha der Katzev steht noch dabei auf seine hametne Stiefels. Die Hände verlegt auf hinten und winkt unter zum zerschrockenen Scheuchetel mit ein verschwommen Egel. So Abrascha the butcher was standing nearby on his stiff boots, his hands placed behind him, and he winks to the terrified Sheichetel with one disappearing eye. Hen, wie das will nicht pegeren. Was sagst du, ah? So he says, so you see that this goat doesn't want to die. What do you say? Huh? Sure.
Well.
Okay. Why don't you read another paragraph then?
Okay.
Okay.
Ziska is a Weile gestanden, der Darrerkopf hat sich ihm schwach geschockelt, Leuten Klappen von sein übergeschrocken Herz. So Ziska stood for a while with his thin head, and his thin head trembled weakly, according to the beating of his frightened heart. Und plötzlich, nicht obwischendig a viele dem Chalef, hat ihm a Wurf getan in Schnee rein und entlaufen. And suddenly, without even wiping the the Chalef, the slaughtering knife, he threw it into the snow and he ran away. Wie soll is gekommen nach Heim, gedenkt nicht. So he didn't even know how he got home. So distracted was he. Gedenkt nur, als in Stub hat getroffen Dobben sein Weib, wie sie sitzt im Bett und gibt Säugen dem Kind. He only remembered when he came home. He didn't remember that in the house he met Dobba, his wife, as she sat in the bed and nursed the child. Is zugelaufen mit dem Kopf zu ihr warmen Schoß, mit der Hand herumgenommen ihre dicke Knie. Etwas gar nicht wie ein Scheuchet, nur wie ein unglücklicher Held von einem Meisterbichel. So he ran into the room and he ran towards Dobba with his head placed his head in her warm lap, and with his thin arms he embraced her thick knees, not at all like a sheichet, but rather like the unhappy hero of a storybook. Efter nur wie ein abgeschmissener, versindigter Ingel, was hat mehrere verneie Schmitz. And even perhaps he was like a whipped, naughty boy who was fearful of getting more lashes. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Nechama.
Dobber hat sich geklippet. Du hörst, Dobber, ich kann nicht mehr. Ich kann mehr nicht schächten. Dobber, he sobbed. Are you hearing me, Dobber? I can't do it anymore. I can't do any more slaughtering. Aber Dobber, sein grob leftiger Eishes Chayil, hat ihn nicht verstanden. But Dobber, his fat, is it fat-lipped or fat, his hefty Eishes Chayil, always a sort of stuck, and she's the Eishes Chayil.
A virtuous woman.
Yeah.
That's you know.
She did not understand him. The virtuous woman did not understand him. Sie hat praktisch a Kuck getun auf der Sach. Sie hat im Koim a Glätt getun über den Kopf und beruhigt ihm auf ihr Stegel. So what was her response to him? She, as a practical, and as a practical matter, she gave him a look, and she barely gave him a little bit of a caress, if you would call it, on his head, and tried to comfort him in her way. Zenor, was machst du so Wesen von a Zap? What are you talking about? Why are you making such a big to-do over a goat? A sheina reina kapora. Now, this expression, a sheina reina kapora, I always thought meant sort of like, you know, this is what was deserved. So this is what the little goat deserved.
Yeah,
this is
what the dictionary says also.
Yeah, this is what they deserve.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Then she gets to practical things. Wo hast du gelosen dem Chalef? Where did you leave the slaughtering knife? And wo is Schrita Geld? And where's the payment for the slaughtering? Dem Lung and Label hat doch der Katz of euch zugesorgt. And where is the lung and the liver that the butcher also promised us? Mit Verachtung ist Suske abgetrotten von sein dicker Weib, again, und hat sich ausgezogen auf der Kanapke. So with, at this point, contempt, Zuska left his thick wife. She's been called thick about 3 times since he got home. His thick wife, and stretched himself out on the couch.
Where do you see she's thick?
Thick
Dick is heavy.
Thick, heavy, thick.
Oh, I'm sorry. Right. I had sick. Yeah, thick. Yeah,
no,
right.
Thick.
Sorry.
She's thick. Yeah. This woman is thick. He's dar, and she's the dicker one. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Hat sich ausgedreht zum Wand und gekrächzt. He turned himself to the wall and groaned. Ich kann nicht mehr. Tut was wilt. I can't do this anymore. Do whatever you want to me. Besser will ich mich allein schächten. Better that I myself would be killed. A solche Diburim haben schon angesprochen. So such talk, when he starts talking about killing himself, this begins to frighten them. Hat ihm Dobber geprovet zu legen a nassen Handtuch zum Kopf. So she tries to put a warm handkerchief compress on his head. Nur Suske hat sie mehr nicht zugelassen zu sich. But at this point, Suske wanted nothing to do with her, and he didn't let her near him. Hat sie gerufen zu helfen dem Taten. So she called her father, the famous Hirschel, to help her. Is der Schwel zugetrotten zu Suskin mit strenge sisslicher Rede und mit Psukim. So at this point, the father-in-law came close to the son-in-law with sweet talk. Is it strenge? Sisslicher, but strenge means what?
Strict.
This word.
Sweet
Sweet.
talk.
Sweet talk.
Sweet talk.
And with various pasukim. Prayers. Well, prayers.
Pasukim, yes.
Deutsch. Haitachen. Wie schämt sich das nicht, a ben teure zu machen, a solche Skandalen? What's going on here? How can this be? Aren't you ashamed, such a man of a Torah, the student of the Torah, to make such scandals? Weist denn nicht zu lieb was hinel und Kälber seinen beschaffen geworden? Don't you know why hens, birds, and goats were created? Sof behemo l'shchita. The end of the animal is to be slaughtered. Mit der Broche, was man macht über ihr Fleisch, is men metaked ihr neshama. So with the blessing that you make over the meat, you cure, you mitaken, you correct, you improve, you repair, you improve his soul. Was darf an oft sie besser? What more does a chicken or a goat need? What could be better than that? Sie seinen efscher Gott zufrieden davon. They're very satisfied that this is happening to them. It sounds like an argument that's often. Say again.
They may perhaps be satisfied.
Efsher, yeah, maybe they're satisfied with this. This is the way it is. Epis größer Glücken auf der Welt hat narische Zieg. What greater happiness? What greater happiness could a goat have, in a silly goat, a narische, a foolish goat have in this world? Essen groß und Pabrikaven in efsher mehr tachlis, to eat grass, and Pabrikaven is efsher mehr tachlis. I don't know what it means, Pabrikaven. To eat grass.
I understood it as it produce. That means to defecate.
And to eat is
to
more
eat and
meaningful.
Go to the bathroom.
In other words, what is the life of this animal worth anyway? They're just going to eat grass and defecate, and that's it. That's better. Azoi und azoi hat ihm der schwer gemusselt, geschämt ihm, gestarrt sein Hals. So this way and that way, the father-in-law gave him these lessons. He tried to shame him, and he tried to give him strength to strengthen his soul, to encourage him. Nur Suske ist von einer solchen Klugerei a whole nicht gestarkt geworden. But Suske, from such smart talk, was not encouraged. Hatte vielu nicht geantwortet. He didn't even answer. A ganzen Tag is opgelegen auf der Kanapke. A whole day he laid on the couch. Zum Lung und Leber, was Abrasche de Kotzov hat gebracht, nicht gewollt zu rühren sich. And even to the lung and liver, which the butcher did bring, he was an honest man, he didn't want to get near it. Dem abgebrachten Chalif nicht gewollt angucken, and the slaughtering knife, which was returned, he didn't want to look at it. Hat sich schon Reb Herschel, the Schwer, der Melamed, allein Matriach gewein, abgewischt und reingelegt in Scheid. So his Herschel, the teacher, took the responsibility. He took the responsibility, he wiped it off, and he put it back into its cover. Is what wird sein? Is zu ihm Dobba sein Weib zugestanden. So what's going to be with him? Dobba, his wife, stood there and just stood there. Gornish.
Zugestanden, I understand. I'm sorry. He's like confronted him. She confronted.
Oh, she confronted him. Zugestanden. Yeah. So she stood in front of him and said, "What's going to be?"
Confronted him. Yeah.
She confronted him. She confronted her husband lying there on the couch. Gar nicht. Hat Suska schwach abgeantwortet. Nothing. Suska weakly answered. Hat Herschel de Melamed gekrogen Pachad. You say pachad, or there's some other way of saying
Pachad,
it? Pachad. As wird mit sein Schlamazel-dicken Edemel gar nicht machen. So Herschel, the Melamed, became afraid that with his good-for-nothing son-in-law, his Edemel, he is not going to accomplish anything. As wird im Musen suchen a neue Parnasse und weiterhalten auf Kest. So he became afraid that he was going to have to find a new form of livelihood for his son-in-law, and again hold him in Kest, in boarding, keep him there in the house.
Again support him.
Have to provide the board.
Yeah, provide for him and Dobba and the child, the screaming child. Und dort geht im Zippe sein Weib, die Joren. Nicht du, sagt sie, soll euch, wo a Kerl zu tun, sich mitten Cheder und mitten Bräutbacker. And there goes by Zippe, his wife, die Joren. Dioran, I don't know what a Yoran is.
The gay and the Yoran, it's a idiom. She is bothering him. She's torturing him.
She's torturing him. That's right. Actually, you heard that before.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen here. We can barely nit do what she says. We can't even make a turn with the cheder is here. And with the bakery is here, and we're all stuffed into this one little place. So she's bothering him also. Is Herschel de Melamed zu morgen vernacht, weg zu Elia dem Shochet. So Herschel the Melamed zu morgen vernacht, tomorrow in the evening, he went to see Elia the Shochet. Gelosen dem Cheder und de Zippes Hashkocha und weg Mincha Davenen in Lubavitcher Beis Midrash. So he left Tzippa, the baker, in charge of the Cheder, and he went to daven to Mincha in the Lubavitcher Beis Midrash. Und zwischen Mincha und Mariv, Miyashev gewähnt sich mit dem alten Schochet, was zu tun mit sein Edelmal, dem Chalush, was vermogt allein mit kein Tropfen Blut und kann kein Tropfen Blut mit vergessen. So why does he go there? And between Mincha and Mariv, he's going to take counsel with the old Shochet, that is Elia, what he should do with his Edomel, this weakling who himself doesn't vermocht allein nit kein Tropfen. He doesn't earn.
No, vermocht his own. He
Possess.
doesn't own a drop of blood.
He doesn't have a drop of blood.
Possess. He doesn't possess.
Doesn't possess a drop of blood himself,
Okay.
and he cannot spill a drop of blood either. He has no blood within him, and he cannot draw any blood from anybody else.
Okay, Nechama, A++.
No grades, just the joy of reading it.
I'm telling you, and after the class, I'll tell you about your question with the Hasoges. I have more for you.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay. Golderle.
Okay, macht Elia, der Scheuchet. Nehmt raus sein Korene, Puschkele, Tabak und guckt an der Herrschlin mit klug ausgeluppete Augen. Elia says, Elia the Shochet says, he takes his tobacco can and he looks at the Melamed Reb Hershland with wise eyes. Alle junge Shotchim, seinen es all the young slaughterers are like that. What do we do with him then? I don't have any strength left. Mein Zipper verkloppt mir dem Kopf. Mein Tochter weint. My wife keeps complaining to me, and my daughter keeps crying. Strap sich, Rebellia del Shochet, on beide Nuzleche mit Tabak und Paskint azoi. So he stops Rebellia Shochet stuffs both of his nostrils with tobacco, and he I don't know whether it's
he issues a decree. It's like a rough paskin. He issues a decision. It's like a rabbinic decision.
Can you imagine Elias issuing a decision? Okay.
Okay, but this is where the paskinen is the job of a rav.
Dafen nemen raptum. Was heißt raptum? Raptum, was heißt? Frage Reb Elia mit vergossenen Augen. Ask again, Reb Elia, with wet eyes. Man hat mit ihm gemacht zu viel Chachmis mit der Eier Edom. We made too much fun with your son-in-law.
Wait. The word raptum means to do it quickly.
To do it all of a sudden.
All of a sudden.
All of a sudden.
Do you think that just etymologically, do you think it's related to rapid, or just you can't do that sort of thing? No.
I don't know.
All right. It's fine. Fine. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Do you want to raise it, Masha? Angehoben mit kleinen Eifes übergegangen zu Gens und zu Behemoth Dhaka. He started with small birds, then he went to geese, and then to animals.
Small animals.
Little animals. Little.
Zu viel gezeigen. Too much. They did.
Too much stretching.
Okay, too much
drawn
stretching.
out. Too drawn out. Should have too lengthy.
Anheben mit Augusta. He should have started long ago with a larger animal. Taka, Delpha, was gesagt, Rechleb.
Rachlev. Yeah.
Too bad.
Yeah.
I can't see what it signifies underneath.
Look down for the 3 stars.
Yes, well.
Vehartzike. A weak heart.
Okay.
He's a weakling.
Raptum. Dafke. Dukke. In Keiler Stiebel. Mechutz Leir.
The ear.
Und Dukke. An Ox.
Dafke.
I thought it was Dafka, but it's a bug.
Yeah, but because it's a Lashon Kodesh word, it spells like it does in Hebrew, okay. And in Hebrew it's only
Dafka an Ox from Brai. See, I got the Kuh. Nem junger Mann und Shech und mach nicht kein Malachis. So he says, because of the Keiler Stiebel, because of the slaughterhouse, and because an ox and Dafka and because an ox from Brai or a good cow, them young man, and slaughter, and don't make a big thing out of it.
Yeah.
I think, and Dafka, in other words, and do it in spite of everything, make it this way. Make it this way.